The camera fades in slowly, the sound of early morning footsteps echoing through a quiet city street. A soft voice begins to speak, calm and confident, like a guide who knows exactly where you need to go. They say every language begins with courage, and every fluent speaker was once afraid to say a single word. Welcome to Story Vault, where we don't just teach you English, we teach you how to live it. Today's story is not about grammar or textbooks. It's about you, your voice, your mouth, your rhythm. If you've ever stumbled, hesitated, or gone blank while speaking English, stay right here. By the end of this story, you won't just know how to train your mouth, you'll know how to own your voice. The scene opens with a young man named Daniel, sitting at a small cafe in London. He's been in the city for 6 months, working, studying, listening, but still, every time someone asks him a question in English, his heart races. He knows the words. He's studied them. But they don't come out fast enough. He whispers under his breath, "Why can't I just speak like them?" Across the table sits an older man, a linguistics coach, sipping black coffee with quiet confidence. He looks at Daniel and smiles. "You're trying to think in English," he says, "but your mouth still thinks in your old language. You have to train it, like a muscle." Daniel frowns. "Train my mouth?" The coach nods. "Exactly. The same way an athlete trains his body, or a singer trains her voice. You train your mouth to move faster, smoother, and stronger." He leans forward and says softly, "Repeat after me, slowly. Think. Talk. Feel. Flow." Daniel repeats, a bit awkwardly, "Think, talk, feel, flow." Now again, the coach says, "But without thinking. Let it happen." The words roll out smoother this time. That, says the coach, is how fluency begins. Not with grammar. Not with fear. But with rhythm. The story shifts to Daniel's next morning. He stands in front of his mirror, toothbrush still in hand, whispering phrases to his reflection. He reads aloud from an English article, exaggerating every sound, stretching every syllable. He laughs at himself, but he keeps going. Because for the first time, he realizes speaking English isn't about being perfect, it's about being brave. Every day he practices. He starts to use tongue twisters. She sells seashells by the seashore. Red lorry, yellow lorry. They sound ridiculous, but they force his tongue to move quicker, his lips to find rhythm. By the 3rd week, something changes. He stops translating in his head. Words start appearing naturally, like bubbles rising to the surface. When his coworker greets him, "Hey, how's your day going?" Daniel doesn't freeze anymore. He smiles and answers, "Pretty good. Yours?" And that small victory? It feels like a mountain climbed. The narrator's voice cuts in again. You see, the mouth is a storyteller's tool. It needs movement. It needs memory. Every sound you make teaches your tongue to trust your thoughts. That's how you become fluent, not by studying endlessly, but by speaking fearlessly. One day, Daniel meets his coach again. This time, he's ready. The coach says, "Tell me about your week," in English. Daniel begins, hesitantly at first, but soon his voice steadies. He talks about his work, his morning runs, the cafe he loves. He doesn't pause. He doesn't overthink. When he finishes, the coach claps softly. "That's it," he says. "You're no longer learning English. You're living it." Daniel smiles for the first time without self-doubt. That's when the camera shifts to a wider shot, the cafe fades away, and the narrator speaks again. Maybe you're like Daniel. Maybe you understand English perfectly but can't speak it confidently. That's not your fault. You were never taught how to train your mouth. So here's the secret the coach taught Daniel, and now, I'm teaching you. Speak every day. Even when no one is listening. Read aloud for 5 minutes daily. Use your phone recorder. Hear yourself. Fix what sounds weak. And most importantly, stop chasing perfection. Fluency doesn't mean flawless. It means fearless. The screen fades to a quiet park. Daniel walks slowly, practicing out loud as he strolls through the green trees. People glance at him, but he doesn't care anymore. He's not embarrassed. He's empowered. He starts talking about random things, the weather, his plans, his favorite movies. Every sentence makes him faster. Every mistake makes him freer. A group of kids laugh nearby. He hears one of them mimic his accent playfully, but instead of shrinking, Daniel laughs too. Because now, he's not afraid of being different. He's proud of how far he's come. And that's what training your mouth really means, not just speaking clearly, but speaking confidently. The narrator's tone deepens. If you want to speak fluently, forget about sounding perfect. Focus on sounding alive. Move your mouth. Use your energy. Let your words dance. Practice the 5-minute drill. Read something out loud. Then close your eyes and repeat it from memory. You'll notice your tongue finds its way without hesitation. After weeks of this, Daniel gets invited to give a short presentation at work. It's only 5 minutes long, but his heart races again, just like the first day at that cafe. But this time, he knows what to do. He closes his eyes backstage and whispers, think. Talk. Feel. Flow. When he walks onto that stage, his words glide effortlessly. People listen, not just to his English, but to his confidence. And that is the moment his mouth, mind, and message become one. When the applause fills the room, Daniel realizes, he's not just speaking English anymore. He's expressing himself. The voice of the narrator returns one final time. Remember, your accent is your identity, not your mistake. Your pauses are your punctuation. Every sound you make is proof you're growing. So train your mouth, not to mimic someone else, but to find your own rhythm, your own sound, your own power. The music swells. The scene fades to night, Daniel standing under the city lights, smiling as he speaks fluently to a friend on the phone. His voice is calm, confident, alive. The narrator concludes softly. And that's how it happens, quietly, consistently, beautifully. Fluency doesn't arrive overnight. It grows in every word you dare to speak. The camera zooms out slowly, and the 5 luxury lines roll across the screen in cinematic rhythm. The Rolls-Royce of fluency is confidence. The Bentley of speech is rhythm. The Maybach of mastery is patience. The Aston Martin of expression is courage. And the Ferrari of language is you. A final pause. Soft piano fades in. The Story Vault logo glows against the dark background as the narrator ends with a single line. Train your mouth. Trust your voice. The world is waiting to hear you.